Hey, everybody. The NFL draft is set to kick off on Thursday night. It's going to be running Thursday through Saturday. As it stands right now, the San Francisco 49ers do not have a pick until number 99. That's going to be coming up late on Friday night. That's as it stands now. But here's how I see this playing out, and this is how I think the 49ers are going to go about making their team better for 2023. So let's kick it off. We're going to go through all the picks that I see the 49ers making. And I'll tell you this, as we go through this list, you're going to notice the picks do not stay where they are right now. So instead of being at number 99 for pick number one, we're going to see the 49ers actually make a move and have a pick tomorrow. So this is how I see it playing out. San Francisco is going to send wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk in pick number 101 to Jacksonville. In return, the Jaguars are sending the 49ers pick 24 in the first round, along with pick 127 in the fourth. The 49ers knew that when they signed Deebo Samuel to a massive extension last year, they're not going to be able to pay Aiyuk over the long term. That's why they made the move to pick up his replacement, Danny Gray. Now, at round one, number 24, the 49ers select offensive tackle Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. This is a big move for the 49ers because not only does it help them in the short term, in terms of 2023 with the situation they have going on at right tackle, it could help them out for the long term over at left tackle as well. You look at Harrison, this is a guy who played almost exclusively at left tackle during his time in Norman as a Sooner, but he did play a little bit on the right side actually in 2022, about 60, 70 snaps. So he has a little bit of flexibility and ability to move over there. So the way I see this playing out is you see Harrison compete for that starting right tackle role. He's going to win it. And then as they go on, the 49ers will continue to develop the guys that they have right now, in particular Spencer Burford. Spencer Burford could be the long-term solution at right tackle, but you got to look at this. Trent Williams is getting a little bit long in the tooth. He's getting towards the end of his career. Getting Harrison gives you a right tackle now, and it gives you a guy that can move over and play left tackle down the road. So you're getting a 2-for-1 here. I think Anton Harrison, the pick at number 24 for the 49ers. I understand this is a big move in the eyes of some people, but when you look at it overall, I think the 49ers need to improve along the offensive line, in particular at that right tackle spot, because the rest of it is actually pretty good. I think from left tackle across the board at the center, even a right guard, I think you're okay. I think the right tackle spot is the one area of weakness. Get that guy now. You can fill in the role here in 2023 and have him ready to take over for Trent Williams in 2024, 2025, and beyond. So there you go. 49ers first pick in the draft is going to be Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. Now, that's not it. The 49ers aren't done yet. They then move on to day two. Friday kicks off with the 49ers making another trade. They send their own pick at 102 along with one of their picks from 2024, their third round pick, to the Las Vegas Raiders in exchange for pick 70. So they go from the third round up until to the front half of round two. And this is one that makes sense if you look at the 49ers overall draft board for next season. The 49ers go into 2024 as it stands right now. They have their own pick. They're also going to get 2 compensatory picks in the 2024 draft. So what they're doing here, they're still going to have 2 third-round picks in the 2024 draft, even though they send one to Las Vegas here. And this is a big move, I think, for the 49ers, one that they need. And at number 70 in round 20, in number 2, the 49ers select tight end Tucker Kraft from South Dakota State. You look at this, Kittle is one of the best tight ends in the league still, but he's going to be turning 30 this season. Injuries have been an issue over the last few years. He's getting towards the end of the line too. So if you look at where the 49ers are right now, you have Trent Williams getting up there in age. You got a guy like George Kittle. He's getting up there, even though he's still very effective. And so I think the 49ers need to address the tight end position. They have not gotten much production out of that position outside of George Kittle over the last few years. So you go and you make that move. You look at what Kraft can do. This guy is a solid blocker. That's a prerequisite to be a tight end in the 49er system. And on top of that, you watch what he did at South Dakota State. He's very good with the ball in his hands. He forced 9 missed tackles last season. He's very good with the ball in his hands after the catch. I look for him to be the pick for the 49ers in round number 2, Tucker Kraft, the tight end out of South Dakota State in round 2. So 2 big moves for the 49ers to start this draft off. They get themselves a couple of use their own picks and a player to move up, but they get 2 picks in the top 70. And then from that point, things start to slow down just a little bit. They let it play out. And then at number 99, round 3, the one pick that they haven't traded yet, the 49ers take safety, Jammie Robinson out of Florida State. The 49ers need a safety for the long term. Right now, you look at it, you have Talanoa Hufanga for the long run, but you don't have anybody next to him that's going to be set for a long period of time. Robinson fills that void for you, gives you somebody that can build around and can build depth there. And he's a tremendous tackler, can line up deep. He can line up down in the box, even in the slot. So really like Jammie Robinson to the 49ers at number 99 in round 3. That brings us to round 4, number 127. Stay in the secondary, and the 49ers go with cornerback Mekhi Blackmon out of USC. Blackmon allowed just 30 catches on 63 targets last season, on his way to receiving first-team All Pac-12 honors. The former Trojan excels in man coverage and doesn't shy away from contact in the run game. All things that the 49ers look for in their secondary and the guys that play cornerback. 49ers right now a little thin in the secondary, so Blackmon fills that role and gives them a nice depth piece to build around. Now that brings us to round 5, pick number 155. I'm going to go with Viliami Fehoko, edge out of San Jose State. Viliami Fehoko. Fehoko is the cousin of Tampa Bay defensive tackle Vita Vea. The Spartan is a powerful rusher who finished 2022 with 66 total pressures. He recorded 26 sacks over the last 3 seasons. The 49ers met with Fehoko recently during his pro day at San Jose State and then hosted him during their local college pro day in Santa Clara as well. I like what he brings to the table. I think with the 49ers, there's been a lot of discussion around their need to add edge early in this draft, and I disagree with that. I think the 49ers, they made the move last year for Drake Jackson, and I think the 49ers believe that Drake Jackson is the guy that's going to be able to be what they need opposite of Nick Bosa. I know he struggled a little bit down the stretch last year with conditioning and those types of things, but he's going to have a full offseason in the weight room, full offseason conditioning. I think we're going to see a much better version of Drake Jackson. And even as it was, Jackson had 3 sacks last year and a big interception against the Raiders to help the 49ers in that comeback win in Las Vegas. So Viliami Fehoko comes here with the 49ers at 155. Really solid depth piece. He's going to be a good rotational piece for a long time in the 49ers system. Really like that pick for the 49ers. I like that player. That's a player I've done 3 mock drafts now, and all 3 of them I've included Viliami Fehoko. Just it's the the bloodlines. The 49ers are big on that kind of thing, and I just really like this pick. And I do want to stop and just shout out really quick. Lucas Pesci, who jumps in. He says, "Hi Jack. Hey Lucas, good to have you on board, and I appreciate you becoming a new member for the channel. If there's anybody out there that's watching, you want to become a member, there's some perks and things like that we're going to set up as the season goes along. But Lucas, it's a great guy. He's been a member of the channel before. Lost when I lost the monetization on the channel, all those dropped off. So it's great to see Lucas taking the time to become a member again. I really appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who is a member of the channel and everybody who tunes in to watch. So thank you, Lucas. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're excited for the draft too, because I think this is going to be a lot of fun for the 49ers. And then, the next one, it's still in round 5. The 49ers are going to take Marte Mapu. He's a safety from Sacramento State, safety/linebacker. Now, Mapu played safety for the Hornets, but he projects as a linebacker in the NFL, which makes him San Francisco's type. They really like those type of players. Fred Warner, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles both played safety in college before transitioning to linebacker with the 49ers. So I go with Marte Mapu at 164 to the 49ers. And then at 173, round 5, Dontavian Wicks, wide receiver, Virginia. So, being at the draft, the 49ers trade Brandon Ayuk. I told you Danny Gray's a long-term of the future there. Dontavian Wicks, this is another guy who I think really fits the 49ers mold. He has speed, quickness, and ability to win outside. He's a really good X receiver, which is actually the role that was played by Brandon Ayuk with the 49ers. That would allow Danny Gray to kind of slide around and do some different things, because although Gray is an X, he can also play in the slot. So I really like this. Wicks, like I said, speed, quickness. He's a former basketball player in high school, has the ability to go up. He's really good at high pointing the ball. And then once he gets the ball in his hands, he's really good after that point too, which is something that the 49ers really look for in their wide receivers. So Dontavian Wicks at 173 at the end of round 5. Getting to round 7, Actually, we're at the end of round 6 here, number 216. And that's where the 49ers make their move and they get their kicker, Jake Moody, kicker from Michigan. Moody was the Lou Groza Award winner as the nation's top kicker back in 2021. Followed that up last year by hitting all 60 extra point attempts and an FBS best 29 field goals out of his 35 attempts. The one question about Moody, though, is his ability to hit from long range, which is important in the NFL. He did convert on a 60-yarder during the college football playoffs, but overall he was just 3 of 7 on attempts from 50 plus. So that's going to be something that kind of a little bit of a question mark there for Moody. We'll see how that plays out. They're going to take a kicker in this draft. The 49ers, I almost guarantee you that the 49ers will take a kicker in this draft. They're not going to go into this year with Zane Gonzalez as uncontested. So the 49ers are going to get one, and I think Jake Moody is a good one. Chad Ryland is another one to keep an eye on there. Lucas chiming in says that he is excited. He watched around 200 players this year on tape. Can't wait. Aben, that is fantastic, and it's going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. And then we pull ourselves into round 7. 49ers are going to. I have the 49ers making 3 picks in round 7. I'll explain that in a second how they get there. Number 222. This is a guy I really like, Jonah Tavai, defensive tackle out of San Diego State. Like Fehoko, Tavai has strong football bloodlines. He has 4 brothers who have played D1 football. 2 of them reached the NFL. Tavai was solid against the run for San Diego State, despite being asked to 2-gap quite a bit. And that's a lot different than what the 49ers do. They don't really ask their guys to 2-gap. They ask their guys to attack. 2-gapping, you're reading, then having to decide where you're going. 49ers, it's usually more of just a single gap. They're able to attack that gap. And Tavai, with his burst and explosiveness and footwork, I really think it would be successful in San Francisco's attacking defensive front. You look at what he did. He's been very productive as a pass rusher over the last 2 seasons. He's recorded 22 sacks and 86 quarterback pressures out of that 3-3-5 setup that they run at San Diego State. So really like this player. I think he's a fit that could really be somebody that takes over the Kevin Givens role maybe in a year or 2 down the road. So Jonah Tavai to the 49ers at 222. At 244 in round 7, the 49ers make a trade. They send pick 247 and 253 to Dallas in exchange for 244. And at that point, they take Hunter Luepke he's a fullback from North Dakota State. Luepke is what everybody look at him and they consider him Kyle Juszczyk of college football. Perfect fit here for the 49ers. And, you can't go through a 49ers draft without picking a running back. So you look at this one, Kyle Juszczyk's getting towards the end of his career. I think the 49ers make this move to pick up Luepke now. And the reason you do that here instead of waiting is you don't want to have the fight with other teams after the draft. So you make the move, you get a player that you really like now, and you don't have to worry about fighting for him as an undrafted free agent afterwards. And this is a big move for the 49ers for future needs. And then last but not least, pick number 255, round 7, the 49ers go quarterback out of TCU, Max Duggan. Like this pick, like Duggan quite a bit. You look at all the questions at quarterback for the 49ers, and I think you take a swing late here on Duggan. It makes a lot of sense. He's coming off a season that saw him win the Davey O'Brien Award, given to the best college quarterback. He was also a finalist for the Heisman Trophy, led TCU to a berth in the championship game of the college football playoffs with a win over former 49ers head coach Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. The thing about Duggan, there's some questions about him. He's very similar, I think, to there are some similarities between Duggan and Brock Purdy. There's some differences though too. One of the knocks on Duggan is that he's not good in tight windows, those types of things. The good thing about when you look at Duggan in the 49ers offense, there's a lot of guys that are running wide open because of the scheme. And so I think in this system, in this scheme, I think he'd be able to come in and be a good fit for the 49ers to be a solid third back quarterback in the system, maybe a long-term backup solution as things play out. Otherwise, he'd be the guy that you get on the practice squad and you keep him as your number 3 quarterback. So there you have it, everybody. My picks for the 49ers this year in the draft. Just go through them really quick. The big one at the top, they trade Brandon Ayuk to the Jaguars for pick number 24. They take on Anton Harrison, tackle at Oklahoma. They make another trade to get to number 70, take Tucker Kraft, tight end, South Dakota State. Then at 99, Jamie Robinson, safety, Florida State. 127, Mekhi Blackman, cornerback, USC. 155, Viliami Fehoko, edge, San Jose State. 164, Marte Mapu, safety/linebacker out of Sac State. Number 173, Dontavian Wicks, wide receiver, Virginia. 216, Jake Moody, kicker from Michigan. Jonah Tavai, defensive tackle, San Diego State at 222. Hunter Lipke, fullback, North Dakota State at 244. And they rounded out with number 255, Max Duggan, quarterback out of TCU. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed. You guys can do me a favor. If you could please hit that like button before you leave. And then after you hit the like button, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Become a subscriber to the channel. And then also when you become a subscriber, make sure you hit the little bell notification so you don't miss any of the information as it goes live. Try to bring you all of the breaking news and content here on Inside the 49ers. Over the 49ers. Make sure that you get all the information you can. And this is your go-to site throughout the offseason and during the regular season. Thanks again. Take care, everybody. And we'll be talking to you soon.